Clinton supporter and senior fellow at the New Leaders Council, Krystal Ball, and spokesman of the leading pro-Trump super PAC and Navy SEAL veteran, Carl Higbie. Great to see you both.
Thanks, Megan.
Great to see you, Megan.
First, let me start with you, Carl.
Oh, boy.
Why don't they just shut up about the women and how big they're supposed to be?
You know, Megan, this is a little bit ridiculous. I see us in the middle of a presidential campaign, probably the most turmoiled one we've seen in recent years. And we're sitting here talking about whether Donald Trump called some woman fat 20 years ago. I just really don't see why the media is focusing on this when you have Hillary with, Benghazi emails, lying under oath, any number of other things. And we're sitting here talking about this.
Well, the reason is because many people find that kind of objectification objectionable. And, you really shouldn't alienate half the country, women, and you shouldn't alienate 70% of the country who are overweight. It's like,
unfortunately,
it's
yes.
a good way to lose votes.
Yeah, it is a good way to lose votes. But the fact of the matter is here, look, Donald Trump has employed, look, his campaign spokeswoman, you just had her on, she's a woman. His communication, a woman. His campaign is the CEO of his campaign is a woman. I know all these people. They love Donald Trump. They work well with him. They don't have any of these problems with him. So I don't understand where these allegations are coming from.
Carl, not to put too fine a point on it, but they're all very beautiful, and none of them is overweight. The question that these stories are raising, Krystal, is whether, as this allegation in this sworn affidavit suggested, quote, Mr. Trump does not like fat people and wants to make sure he has pretty people working as the face of his organizations.
Well, and here's the big problem for him, Megan. I mean, do you think that anyone out there read that story and was shocked and said, oh, no, Mr. Trump would never treat women that way? Of course not, because his comments over the years and continuing into this presidential election campaign have reflected a man who puts a lot of priority, perhaps first priority, on the way that a woman looks, grading them on a 1 to 10 scale. He told a female reporter in this campaign that she had her job because she was beautiful. So this comes as a shock to absolutely no one that Donald Trump is a sexist pig. Why are we talking about it? A, because he keeps talking about it and keeps insisting that Ms. Machado gained a massive amount of weight.
And then
B,
he put her on
an
exercise program, a luxury exercise program.
It's kind of relevant to people whether their future president happens to also be a sexist pig. I think that's kind of an important piece of information that actually a lot of voters might care about.
Carl, the thing is, you can actually, legally, you can make the argument for certain looks requirements. There was a big case about whether Vegas hostesses could be forced to wear makeup. And the answer was they could. Because if it's part of like a uniform, a presentation, a company image,
right.
It's actually not illegal necessarily. But that's different from disqualifying all heavy people. That's a different thing altogether. And even Trump, this woman who ran Trump's construction company, and it was a great role, and he gave her an amazing promotion, even she, New York Times, that he looked at her, she's a larger sized woman, and said, you like your candy. I mean, this is alienating to a lot of people who struggle with eating.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, Megan? The fact of the matter is 50% of our country is drastically overweight. And you know what?
Including Trump.
Yeah, well, Trump did say that he could shed a few pounds. But the fact is, who cares? We're talking about a little bit of weight, and this is a woman, also this Machado woman. He gave her a luxury exercise program, and they posed for all these pictures, and she was so happy to accept that he was willing to let her keep her title.
She only posed for the pictures because he ambushed her at the exercise facility with 80 reporters who took pictures of her while Donald Trump looked at her from the sidelines. I mean, that is what happened there.
He didn't ambush her. He was on his paid, luxury fitness program.
She says he did.
Now, she also says a lot of other things. But the fact of the matter is, she was on his luxury exercise program, and he allowed her to keep her title, and he worked with her, and he said he defended her job because she was overweight, and then helped her get back down to weight. Come on, Megan.
If I could help you with this, there's a very simple response to what we have seen on camera in terms of Mr. Trump's treatment of Ms. Machado, and it's called an apology. It's not called trying to smear her and trying to continue to insist she gained too much weight. It's called saying, I'm sorry for the way that you were treated and the way that you felt. It's that easy.
Maybe you should talk to your candidate.
And let me tell you about who cares about this. Who cares about this? Take a look at the polls, and I think you'll find out who cares about this.
I come from a long line of, people who also love food, right? And
I love food.
The last thing that an overweight person needs to be told is that they're overweight. That's the last thing. And trust me, I know. So
it doesn't help.
Look, I was a fat kid in middle school. I get it.
Well, now you're a Navy SEAL, so nobody.